Ryan is a beautiful name, by the way, said Sophie, as their first waiter brought a basket of buttermilk bread. Where did you get this from? My father named me. After the good schoolmaster, the one Raffle killed in the Great War, that's what his twin brother was named. Was it? Ryan laughed, beating into a roll. Better change my name then. A bit too much to live up to. Sophie fits you perfectly, though. He winked at her. Not sure that's a compliment, but I'll certainly take it as one, she said archly. Agatha noticed that Ted was listening too, but now their waiter reappeared. I'll have the chicken, said Agatha. I'll have the lamb, said Tedros. The first took their menus and glided away. Agatha smiled at Tedros, trying to reset. Feels like our first date, she said shyly. Most of our relationship has taken place in times of war, said Tedros. We're still figuring out how to do peace. More awkward silence. You have been through a lot today, more than any of us, said Agatha, trying to force the same intimacy she had seen between him and Ryan. Do you want to talk about it? Tedros put his hand through the gold drops from the chandelier, which magically passed through his palm. I'd rather talk about other things, like why you didn't write me when you promised that you would. I didn't want you to worry about me, Agatha sighed. If you knew what we were dealing with on our quest, you'd have panicked. I see, said Tedros, not looking at her. But my point is, you can't confide in me, Tedros. I don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past 6 months. You can tell me things, anything, about how you're feeling. Don't try to protect me. Says the girl who wouldn't pick up a pen to tell me how she was feeling because she was trying to protect me, said Tedros, his gaze settling on her again. And then you wonder why I don't tell you things. Agatha didn't know what to say. I'm going to the bathroom, Tedros said, getting up. Agatha fidgeted with the tablecloth as he left. In the silence, she could hear Ryan and Sophie again. I was talking to Esther and Ananda after the burial, said Sophie, nibbling around the edge of a roll. I suggested you might be a good candidate for a schoolmaster. We need a new one, as you know. A schoolmaster, Ryan nearly spilled his cider. So I can fly you in and out of my tower like Raffle did? So you can replay your fairy tale fantasy with someone slightly less murderous and far less qualified? No, Sophie said, offended. I think, or we think, you'll be perfect for the job. You'll still have to interview with Professor Dauphin, of course, but given my popularity with the students, I'm sure my opinion would have more weight. Not interested, said Ryan. In the position this is, still interested in you. He flashed a smile and Sophie blushed. But I have a job now for the rest of my life, at Tedros' side. I know, said Sophie sincerely. But I have a job too. One that isn't at Camelot, where you and Teddy will be. Are you happy being dean? I'm good at it, said Sophie. It's what I was meant to do. But are you happy? I'll be happier if you were schoolmaster. Ryan smiled. I don't want us to be apart. You'll just have to visit Camelot often. It's less than a day's journey. If only it was that simple. Teddy wouldn't even let me in the castle to plan his own wedding, let alone visit often. Plus, to be honest, I think he feels a bit insecure around me. Sophie checked it to make sure Agatha wasn't listening. Agatha dropped her napkin and pretended to be looking for it. Given how poorly Tetro's wing started versus how successful I've been Sophie said to Ryan softer. Catching the snake will help Tetro's reputation, of course, but I just don't think he'll ever feel comfortable around me. Too much history. And maybe, well, I shouldn't say it. It doesn't even make sense. Tell me, said Ryan. Sophie again glanced at Agatha, who was watching the cricket symphony intensely. Sophie leaned towards her knight. I think deep down, Teddy knows I'll make a better king than he would. Ah, said Ryan. King Sophie. The knight cracked up. So did Sophie. I told you it was silly. Your story promised that you'll be a handful, but I had no idea. Sophie stopped laughing. I ruined it, didn't I? I shouldn't have said anything. I should have figured being nice and bashful like all the other girls you date. I like you even better now, if that's what you're asking, said Ryan. Sophie stared at him, speechless for once. Come back with me to Camelot, said Ryan. Just for a few days. It'll give you and Tedros a chance to flow before you go back to school. Once he sees me with you on his home turf, he'll realize it's the perfect ending. Thus you and him don't have to be at odds. The four of us can be true friends regardless of where we are. Sophie considered this. But my students, I'm sure the other dean can handle things. Just a few days. The school will still be there when you get back. You really think we can have a perfect ending? Sophie asked. You deserve it. Anyone who says you can't isn't telling you the truth, said Ryan. Sophie took him in, then turned to Agatha. What do you think, Aggie? She asked, her green eyes twinkling as if she knew her friend had been listening all along.